Good morning, everybody. I wanted to talk to my musical theater and theater folks out there. So I'm going to be posting a little bit later a worksheet for theater performers. And the reason I'm going to post this is because the first thing you guys need to be doing is figuring out what the shows are that you are perfect for. What is your target list of shows that you want to be going after, or you want your child to be going after? So don't list any more than 10, but up to 10 shows that are either currently on Broadway, off Broadway, coming to Broadway or off Broadway, touring, regional thing, and list the role and then what the main song is from that show. That's kind of like the signature moment song if it's a lead role. If it's an ensemble role, don't worry about that. And then what is the audition song you would go in of your own material and use to audition for that show? And with that, you need a 16 or 32 bar cut, preferably both, prepared. And then you need the full song as well. So you need to be able to do a 16-32 and also have a full song, ready to go at all times, coached, prepped, your audition cuts marked clearly in your music, all of your kind of preparation work of understanding what you're trying to communicate in the song, really delving into the lyrics, tearing that apart. Do you know how many times I have kids especially, but even sometimes older folks come in and will say, well, do you know what that word means? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, there should never be a word in a song that you don't know what it means or your child doesn't know what it means, right? So they should always understand the context of the song. And sometimes there are songs that especially kids are singing that may have a slightly more mature context to it that you need to explain to them in a way that makes sense to them so they can do the acting piece of it. Because the singing piece is, dare I say, the least important piece of this. Obviously you need to be a good singer and you need to be able to hit the notes and you need to be able to sound pleasant and pleasing on it. But the difference between who books and who doesn't is 100% always in the performance. And that means the acting that happens in the song. And you can't act a song if you don't understand what you're trying to communicate in the song, right? So it's really about doing all of that preparation work ahead of time and having your book ready to go. There should never be a time where somebody says, hey, do you want to sing at this cabaret or this performance opportunity, or the audition is tomorrow, what's your audition song? And for you to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to sing. So you will never book a job if that is what is happening. If you don't know what you would sing on zero notice, then you are not prepared to audition and you're really not ready to be auditioning. So what you need to be doing is doing all of this prep work ahead of time, identifying the shows, the roles, what the main song is for that character, because in a callback, you would be going in and performing that. And then also, what is kind of the show adjacent, song that would be perfect for that character, for that show, that is similar in tone and vibe, and that when you perform, will make casting say, oh, I could totally see them in this role. Because you're not going to walk in and sing a Sondheim song at a contemporary musical theater audition, because you will never get anywhere with that, nor would I hope anybody would be doing that. But just, that's the idea. So if you're going on a contemporary musical theater audition, you better have the perfect song for that audition. And you should also have a pop song. You should also have a country song. For some things, I've even seen them ask for just kind of like a folkish kind of song. You need golden era. You need these standards. You need a Sondheim. You need a contemporary musical theater. I mean, I'll try to make a list for you guys, but you have to go through each time period and kind of genre of shows that exist and make sure you have something. Do you have a pop rock musical adjacent song? Do you have something, if you were going in for The Music Man or Sound of Music, do you have something that would be right to audition for those shows that's not from that show? If you were going in for Matilda, child or adult, do you have something that's right? If you were going in for Book of Mormon, do you have something that's right? If you were going in for Wicked, do you have something that's right? Mean Girls, Dear Evan Hansen, what are the songs that you would be singing? If you're going in for Jagged Little Pill for you 20-somethings or 30-somethings, what song would you sing, as your song? So if you don't know the answer to that, and that audition came up, it's almost a wasted opportunity. So this is the stuff that you need to be doing ahead of time, and you need to be really prepared on. I'm going to put together a worksheet. I'll post it a little bit later, but this is your job. And parents, for those watching that, are the parents of the kids, it's your job to be prepping them in anticipation for the shows that they're right for. Number one, it's a great exercise. Number two, they should know the key material from the show. And number three, they should have songs that can work for the auditions. And by the way, some songs can work for more than one type of show, and just by virtue of changing up how you perform it. Not everything has to be performed, like if it's a pop song, it doesn't have to be performed exactly as it's written. It could be performed down tempo. It could be an unusual arrangement. It could be a gender swap of a song that's like fresh and like, wow, that was an interesting performance. You don't have to be cookie cutter. You can be creative in what you do, but you need to have done the work ahead of time. There is nothing worse than getting an audition in a day or two and that gut, your stomach drops and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to sing, because you will never book it like that. And you won't win the room either, which is kind of like the second piece, which is you may not be right for the role that they're bringing you in on, but what they should be walking away doing is making a note for their files like, man, I wish I could put this person in the show. They're not really right for it, but I'm going to keep them in mind for this other thing I'm doing, or this other thing that I know is coming down the road in a couple of months. I really want to bring them back in for that because they were so impressive. So if you're not impressive in the room, you've wasted the opportunity. So that's really the goal, and you need to do your work now when you don't have an audition. So that's my challenge to you, is to put together a list up to 10 shows, the roles, the song from the show that you would need to know if you were going in on a callback, and the show adjacent song in a 16:32 and full song version, prepped and ready to go, coached to the nth degree. Because by the way, it shows. Whenever I've done a casting director workshop and somebody's come in and done 2 songs, one that's newer, not even brand new, but newer, and one that they've really sat with for a long, long time and know inside and out, you can always tell, because there is an ease and a comfort and this confidence that comes through when they know that they're not thinking about the lyrics and forgetting something. They're worried about the performance, and that is what makes the difference. And I can't remember if I said this earlier in this particular video, but please make sure you've dissected the lyrics. Make sure you know every single word of, there never should be a word in a song that you don't know what it means. And you should never not have context for how you're performing it. You don't always have to go in and perform it as if you were in that moment in the show. So it doesn't always have to be like, oh, the context of this song is this, whatever it is, and this is what happened right before it. You need to create your own context. Sometimes you can go in and make a choice that I'm going to perform it as the character, but other times you can go in and perform it as you, as long as you have your intentions and you are really specific. It's not just, when I say to somebody, who are you singing this to? And they go, well, I guess I might be singing this to my friend. And it's like, well, if you didn't know that before you were performing, that's probably why we're asking you the question, because it didn't come through. So you always have to know, like, who are you singing this to? What are you trying to communicate with this song? Who is in that room with you? What is the context in your own head for why you're singing this song? And those are the little magical differences that make people book or not book. So you need to be that prepared every time you walk into a room. So that is my thought of the day, challenge of the day, something to think about and be working on. There is no such thing as downtime. There's only preparation, right? So that's what you need to be doing. All right. Have a wonderful day.